I may or may not have bought a Christmas tree. I may or may not have already put it up. Don't worry about it. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Liz and today we're gonna start a mood reading vlog. I feel like I ended the month of October kind of in a book slump and I'm slowly getting out of it. I will say I feel like I'm kind of out of it at this point, but I don't want to slowly get back into that, especially leading into Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like I really want to, there's a lot of really cool books that I really want to read during that time. So I want to kind of just keep this momentum going with my reading, and we're just gonna do a mood reading vlog. Just gonna see what books I'm reading this week and maybe part of next week. We'll see what I can gather for this video. I really want to stay in this happy feeling that I'm feeling, motivated reading space in my brain. We're just gonna see where this week takes me. I don't honestly know what I'm gonna be reading. I did start a book. I will talk about that in a second. Recently, actually, yesterday, I started and finished One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick, and I started Two Twisted Crowns, which is the second book in this duology fantasy world, and I am loving my time while reading it. I'm about 144 pages into this one at the moment. Basically, where we're at is in this fantasy world. Their magic system is so interesting and intricate that it's what has really engaged me while reading this duology so far. There are these 12 playing cards, so think of a deck of cards. Each card is a different type of magic. So you tap the card 3 times and then you have that magic, and then you tap it 3 times to finish, like to stop using it. And each one is a different type or different form of magic. There's one that's called the Maiden and it makes you really beautiful. And there's another one that's called the Chalice, and it means if you pour a drink into something, then it automatically becomes truth serum for whoever drinks out of it. Our main character, she got this infection when she was a child. So in this world, if children get this infection, or if people get this infection, then they all of a sudden have this magical blood running through them, but it will slowly decay and slowly kill them. So the king does hunt these people who have had the infection growing up and kills them, so that way they are not a danger to society or this world. Our main character, she had the infection as a child, but her family was able to hide her away and she's lived with it all these years. And when she got the infection, she ended up getting this creature in her mind that she calls the Nightmare. She wants to be cured from this infection. There's this whole prophecy where if you gather all 12 playing cards, then you can basically, it negates all this magic. You can break off the infection and cure people, and that's essentially what she's trying to do. So she ends up partnering with the captain of the guard in this kingdom to find these playing cards and to save herself and save those around her as well. I really enjoyed the first book. I will say it was a lot of world building, but not in a way that was like overly complicated. I feel like anybody who is reading fantasy would enjoy this world. It's gothic fantasy. I know this is not a new series whatsoever. I know this duology blew up last year or the year before, and for good reason. It's a very cool story and I highly recommend it. I started the second book and I really like this one so far because it does expand the world a lot. You're getting new characters' point of views in this book. You're getting background on people and the history of this world. Excited to give more updates as we go on, but I've been wanting to read One Dark Window for so long and I finally picked it up, and I'm so mad at myself for letting it take me this long to finally read it because I love this fantasy world. This could end up being a 5 stars. Definitely a 5-star series. So if you're interested, definitely read this series. We're just gonna go along this week and see what I can read. I still have a lot of books on my fall TBR that I have not gotten to. I'm gonna try to knock some of those off my list, and I have a very ambitious 2025 planned reading wise. So I need to stop buying books and start reading what I have, says every reader out there. I just don't do that. I don't have the self-control for that, sadly. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so it's the next day. I actually read a decent chunk yesterday. I currently have about 100 pages left of this book. It's so good. I'm really excited to see how the story ends. I think I might have mentioned this yesterday, but you learn about so many more characters in this book and you get so much more background and backstory of this world and how things came to be. I'll try to give another update when I finish. I finished Two Twisted Crowns last night and I loved it. It was so good. I did go ahead and start my next book for this reading vlog, and that is Strange Unearthly Things by Kelly Craig. I read Phantom Heart by Kelly Craig a little over a month ago, and I loved it. It kind of brought me out of book slump, and since I've been in kind of a slumpy mood, I wanted to go ahead and pick up another one of her books because I really like her writing. I did immediately take off the dust jacket, as one does. This world that we're in, it's kind of like a modern day retelling of Jane Eyre. I really like modern day retellings of different works. Their main character, she is a psychic. The way she does her, or has her ability, is she can draw things that she sees in her head in like the spiritual realm. She gets invited to this manor out in England somewhere, and the guy, the owner of this estate, he needs help because this estate, there's this like dark presence or force that's like surrounding this place, and he needs someone to come in and help him get rid of it, essentially. And it's not just her, there's other people who are also kind of psychics who are invited to this property, but they're all there in order to just help him get rid of this thing. Only a couple chapters in. I'm on page 66 so far. Once again, I really like this author's writing. It's very quick and fast paced. It starts right off the bat, our main character on the plane on her way to this estate, so it gets going right away, and already she's seen this thing. This thing has kind of followed her on the plane and is now at this estate, so it's very interesting and kind of creepy. It's actually a lot creepier than her first book, the Phantom Heart book. I'm starting to meet some of the other side characters, and I'm just enjoying my time. I'll give more updates once I have them. It's been a little bit. So it's been about 2 days since I last filmed anything or talked about anything, and I wanted to give a quick update because I do have updates. First update is I am very close to finishing Strange Unearthly Things by Kelly Craig. I am still enjoying it. I will say that I feel like some of the dialogue that a few of the characters are having comes across a little cringy at times, like saying sup and bro, like things like that. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, especially with where they're at. I mean, a few of the characters are American, but a few of them are British. So it's like getting that mixture is just not what my brain can compute right now. Another update that I have is I feel like I know where this is going, and I'm not loving the direction it's heading. I do like a lot of the side characters. I enjoyed Phantom Heart, I think, a lot more than this one. One of our side characters, his name is Giovanni. I love him so much. I want everything for him. I want the world for him because he is just such a fun side character who really breaks the tension. He is definitely the comedic relief in this book. That's my update. I'm really hoping to finish this book today. I do have to go to work, so I'm hoping to finish reading this tonight and then maybe start my next book and talk about that tonight. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully you'll see me like a later version of Liz, finishing and starting a new book tonight. I just finished, and I was kind of right about how it was gonna end. A lot of the ending I just didn't understand. Like, it just didn't make a ton of sense, but I finished it. I'm gonna have to think on this one because I honestly don't know what I would rate it at this moment. But I do know that I want to start a new book, so let's do that. I have barely filmed anything in the last day, so quick update time. I started The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I think I just took a clip of me starting this book, and I now have about 100 pages left of this book. Lots to update, and I need to share like what it's about. This is set in a world where magic is kind of not really known anymore. There used to be this old magic, but it kind of went away. A lot of people kind of stopped believing in magic. However, there once was this magical cauldron that used to grant life. Sounds very similar to ACOTAR now that I think about it. There was this family that had this magical cauldron. If you boiled water in it, it could bring things back to life. This cauldron got cracked and the water seeped into the soil, and so now in the forest, if there's any people who are buried out in the forest, then they kind of come back as zombies. So think zombies, all right? Our main character, she is a grave digger, so her family runs this graveyard in their town, but her father has taught her at a young age what a bone house is. So bone houses are these zombies that come back to life. Some weird things start happening in her town. These bone houses before only stayed in the forest, but now they're starting to creep into town and they're attacking people. So she decides to go on this quest to find this magical cauldron that was cracked long ago and destroy it for good. So that way this magic goes away and so she can protect her family. At the same time, there's another character who's a young map maker who's new to town. He just traveled in. She saves him from a bone house, and that's kind of how they strike up their friendship. He is is looking for his family. Long, long ago, he was found in the forest and he is trying to figure out where the rest of his family is. He decides to join her on this quest so he can find answers for himself. I love this author because it's really hard to find a good standalone fantasy world. Instead of having to read like an extensive series, it still has enough detail and action and things happening in the world that makes you want to continue reading. It doesn't feel like it's too fast-paced to the point where you're missing a lot of detail. I feel like she does a really good job of putting just the right amount in her books. Like I said, I have about 100 pages left, so I'm hoping I can finish this today and wrap up this reading vlog and give my final thoughts on all the books that I've been reading. Gotta go do some grocery shopping, so I gotta do that first. But then I'm coming back and I am reading this book and I am finishing this book today. I finished. So this brings us to the end of the video where I'm gonna give my final ratings on the 3 books that I read in this mood vlog. I really enjoyed my time this week. I'm getting back into my reading groove. I'm enjoying what I'm reading again and I'm loving it. I owe it all to these books. So let's talk about them. The first book that I read and finished in this video was Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is a part of the Shepherd King duology. The first book is One Dark Window. Really enjoyed that one. Immediately went into this one. I think I'm settling on 4.75 stars for this book. I know that's a little annoying that it's like right on the edge of being a 5-star. I don't know what it is, but like I always know when a book is a 5-star read. This one was so incredibly close, but it's just not quite there. I don't know what it was missing exactly, but I will say that this world was so atmospheric and I felt like I truly was in this world while I was reading, and I had a really, really good time while reading it. Loved the world, loved the writing, and loved the characters. I have nothing else to say besides that this is a great book and everyone should read it. Next, we have Strange Unearthly Things by Kelly Cray. This one was the Jane Eyre retelling. I really, really enjoyed the writing style of this author. I still really enjoy it. However, I think I'm only going to give this book a 3 stars. There could have been more detail. There could have been more going on in this world. It didn't feel like a lot was accomplished in the story. I did though like the writing style. I did really like the side characters. I still definitely want to read more by this author, but yeah, sadly 3 stars for this one. It was still good. I still enjoyed my time while reading it and definitely flew through it. And last but not least, The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I literally just finished this like not even an hour ago. I think I'm gonna settle on a 4 stars for this book. What I like about this author is she does a really great job giving you just a complete fantasy that's a standalone. Like I feel like this book had everything it could have had. I still really enjoyed the story and the characters. There's a goat side character, if that matters. It doesn't, but that was one of my favorite characters in this story and honestly almost made me cry. So highly recommend this story and this author because her books are just fabulous. I love her fantasy worlds. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this gave you some new books to read or just some good recommendations for this fall season that we're in. I know it doesn't feel like fall anymore. It's starting to feel more like winter and everyone is like wanting to start celebrating Christmas already. I know I'm a hypocrite. I already have my Christmas tree up. I'm very excited for Christmas, but I do realize I am realistic. I do realize it's still fall. I understand that. And I'm still reading my fall read. Definitely keep an eye out for some of these authors or these books. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.